In the far reaches of the galaxy, the planet Zenara, once a thriving jewel of life and technology, now lay trembling on the edge of ruin. A strange and deadly plague had crept silently through its cities and forests, spreading faster than anyone could understand. It was no ordinary disease. This was something alien, something that seemed to strike at the very essence of living beings. Xenarans watched in horror as their friends, families, and leaders fell one by one to a mysterious illness that twisted cells and minds alike, leaving behind only weakness and despair. Scientists and healers worked day and night, but nothing seemed to slow the plague's merciless advance. Desperate and afraid, the Xenaran High Council decided that their planet's fate could no longer rest on their own shoulders. They broadcast a final message out into the black emptiness of space, a plea for help, a call for aid to every known species, every colony and star system that might hear. They sent out their message with hope burning like a small flame in the darkness, praying for a miracle. Days passed with no response. Weeks slipped by, and one by one the replies came back, cold, distant, or silent. The nearby Qatari, proud and isolationist, said they could not risk contagion in their own systems. The Gralnar Dominion, known for their vast fleets and power, refused to intervene, calling it a local matter beyond their concern. Even the Federation of Vex, usually quick to offer aid in times of crisis, remained mute. The galaxy turned away, distracted by its own conflicts and ambitions, unwilling to step into the shadow looming over Zenara. Fear and loneliness gripped the survivors. Just as hope began to fade, sensors on Zenara's orbital stations detected an unknown fleet entering their system, unmarked ships unlike anything the Zenarans had seen before. The vessels moved with purpose, clean lines and a strange symbol, something that resembled a circle with a human figure at its center. When the ships docked, the beings that emerged were humans, strange creatures from a blue planet light years away, known to the galaxy only in legends and whispers. The humans did not hesitate or ask for payment. They brought advanced medical machines and scientists armed with knowledge beyond anything Xenarans had encountered. Their leader, a tall woman with calm eyes and a steady voice, promised to fight the plague with every resource their people could offer. The Xenarans watched, half in disbelief, as humans began setting up field hospitals amidst the ruined cities, their machines humming with unfamiliar energy. What puzzled them most was the humans' willingness to enter infected zones, risking themselves without hesitation, touching the sick, offering comfort and hope. This was unlike any other race's behavior, a bold kindness wrapped in fierce determination. Yet, not everyone welcomed the humans. Some among the Xenarans whispered fears about human motives, wary of strangers in their crisis, suspecting hidden agendas or future control. As night fell, strange shadows stretched across the damaged streets, and the plague itself seemed to respond, mutating into new, deadlier forms that resisted even the humans' best efforts. The atmosphere thickened with tension as the battle between life and death unfolded, with the fate of an entire world hanging in the balance. The question burned in every heart. Could the humans' courage and technology be the last hope for Zenara, or was the plague an unstoppable force that would consume them all? The silence of the galaxy echoed loudly as watchers from distant stars wondered if this was the moment when humanity would rise, not just as survivors, but as saviors in a dark and dangerous universe. The humans wasted no time after landing on Zenara, their sharp minds and calm courage becoming a beacon of hope in a world falling apart. They brought advanced medical machines that glowed softly under the planet's pale sun, devices capable of analyzing the plague in ways the Xenaran scientists had only dreamed about. The humans worked side by side with the alien doctors, learning quickly and sharing freely, while their own experts ran tests at an incredible pace. They didn't just rely on technology, they used old-fashioned care and bravery, entering the Ashu, most infected zones without hesitation, comforting the sick with gentle words and hands even when the danger was high. The Xenarans watched this fearless approach with a mix of awe and disbelief, wondering how humans could be so brave and so kind when others had only looked away. But the plague was a tricky enemy. It changed shape and strength, seeming to learn from every cure the humans tried. Frustration crept into the hearts of the healers as day after day the disease fought back, mutating into deadlier forms that spread through the air and water like smoke on the wind. Still, the humans didn't give up. They stayed up through endless nights, poring over data, running experiments, adjusting treatments again and again. Small victories came. A child would recover. A village would see fewer deaths. But the plague kept pulling back from the edge of defeat, like a shadow retreating into darkness, only to return stronger. Then, as hope flickered dangerously, lo, a human scientist named Dr. Kara Jensen found a breakthrough. She noticed something strange about the way the plague mutated. It responded oddly to a certain frequency of light and a mix of rare minerals found in Zinara's mountains. She proposed using a combination of light therapy and specially crafted medicines derived from these minerals to confuse and weaken the plague's hold on the body. The Zinarans were skeptical at first, but with no other choice they agreed to try. The humans constructed strange machines that bathed infected areas in soft pulses of colored light, while patients received treatments made from the mineral compounds. Slowly but surely, the symptoms began to lessen. Patients stopped coughing. Blood and their strength returned. This success brought a surge of energy to the entire operation, but it also brought new dangers. The plague, sensing its survival was threatened, became unpredictable, attacking the humans in new and terrifying ways. Several human medics fell ill, their bodies racked with symptoms unlike any before. Panic almost swept through the camps, but the humans showed no fear. Instead, they doubled down on their efforts, using their own bodies as testing grounds for new treatments. Meanwhile, the Zinaran leadership began to see the true value of human courage and ingenuity. Despite political differences and cultural misunderstandings, the humans had proven their commitment to saving lives, not conquering worlds. Yet deep in the background, some factions still whispered doubts about the humans' real intentions, fueling tension in the already fragile alliance. Through the chaos, the plague's origin remained a mystery, and as humans and Zinarans worked feverishly on the cure, dark rumors spread that the disease was not natural but engineered, a weapon unleashed by enemies unknown. This revelation cast a shadow over the triumphs, reminding everyone that the battle was not just for survival, but for the future of the entire galaxy. As the humans and Zinarans prepared for whatever might come next, the survivors on Zinara clung to a fragile hope. Hope born from human kindness, resilience, and a stubborn refusal to let darkness win. The cure was within reach, but so was the storm, gathering beyond the stars, waiting to test if the newfound alliance could stand strong or fall like so many before it. As the humans continued their tireless work to cure the plague ravaging Zinara, a shadow of suspicion began to grow among the galaxy's watching eyes, turning hope into tension and cooperation into unease. Though the Zinarans had welcomed the humans with cautious gratitude, murmurs started in the corridors of power, voices questioning the true motives behind the human intervention. Why had no other species answered the call, yet humans appeared with such speed and resources? Could this kindness be a mask for ambition? Certain council members, wary from past galactic conflicts and tales of humans' unpredictable nature, began to push back, asking for greater oversight of the human fleet and their growing influence on Zinaran soil. The once united front cracked, as rumors twisted into fears, suggesting that humans might be studying the plague not only to save lives, but to gather knowledge for their own benefit, perhaps even weaponizing it for future conflicts. Meanwhile, the plague itself, stubborn and cunning, refused to be fully tamed, mutating beyond the reach of all current treatments. Infected zones grew more dangerous, and new unexplained symptoms appeared, leaving scientists baffled and citizens terrified. Within the human camp, tension rose as some medics fell ill under mysterious circumstances, fueling whispers that the plague might be changing to target the humans specifically. The alliance that had seemed promising now wavered under the weight of doubt and fear. In this fragile time, Zinaran intelligence agents intercepted encrypted communications, hinting at a secret faction watching Zinara from the shadows. perhaps orchestrating the plague's release to weaken the galaxy's defenses. The humans, led by Dr. Kara Jensen and Commander Elias Shaw, pushed to keep the focus on the cure. But political factions in the Zyneran Council demanded answers, questioning whether the humans had withheld information or deliberately concealed discoveries. Public unrest began to swell as citizens caught between hope and suspicion watched strangers dominate the efforts to save their world. Across distant systems, news of the human arrival and the ongoing crisis spread, igniting debate and fear in other species, some accusing humans of opportunism, others rallying quietly in secret support. The fragile peace on Zynara became a powder keg as covert sabotage attempts, misinformation, and secret meetings threatened to unravel the alliance before the cure could be perfected. Against this darkening backdrop, the humans faced a choice: to retreat and abandon Zynara to its fate, or to stand firm, prove their true intentions, and uncover the deeper threat hiding behind the plague's deadly shadow. As distrust thickened like a storm cloud, a sudden chilling discovery shocked both humans and Zynarans alike: evidence that the plague was not a natural disease but an engineered weapon, designed by unknown enemies to cripple the galaxy's spirit. This revelation deepened the mystery and raised the stakes beyond survival. It was now a battle for truth, trust, and the very future of all worlds. The question lingered in every tense conversation and silent glance. Could humans and Zynarans overcome their doubts, unite against the hidden enemy, and finally break the plague's grip? Or would fear and suspicion tear apart the fragile alliance, leaving Zynara to fall alone in the cold darkness of space? The discovery that the plague was an engineered weapon sent shockwaves through the alliance between humans and Zynarans, turning the desperate fight for a cure into a deeper mission to find who had unleashed such a horror on the galaxy. Humans and Zyneran scientists joined forces, pooling their resources and knowledge to trace the origin of the disease, following faint signals and clues hidden in the patterns of infection and mutation. Their search led them beyond Zynara's orbit, through shattered star systems and abandoned colonies where echoes of war and fear still lingered, hinting at a larger, darker plan. The trail was perilous as they navigated political traps set by suspicious factions within the galaxy who wanted to keep the truth hidden. Every step closer to the source brought new dangers: ambushes by unknown attackers, sabotage attempts on their ships, and strange transmissions trying to mislead or confuse them. The humans' advanced technology and the Zynerans' local knowledge combined to overcome these threats, but the cost was high, and trust among the team was tested as fear and fatigue grew. Commander Elias Shaw led daring missions to infiltrate enemy bases, while Dr. Kara Jensen pushed forward with research to protect their own people from the evolving plague. They uncovered evidence of a secret coalition, a shadowy group made up of disgruntled species and rogue elements who sought to destabilize the galaxy and seize power amid chaos. This hidden enemy had created the plague as a weapon to ignite fear and weaken alliances, aiming to control or destroy anyone who stood in their way. As the alliance prepared to confront this threat, the humans' bravery and willingness to face danger inspired other species to join the fight, breaking old prejudices and forming new bonds. Battles erupted in space and on the ground, fierce and chaotic, with humans fighting shoulder to shoulder with former enemies, united by a shared goal to stop the plague and its creators. The fight was brutal, pushing everyone to their limits, but it also showed the strength of cooperation and hope in the darkest times. Through sacrifice and determination, they uncovered the heart of the enemy's operation, a hidden fortress where the plague had been manufactured and spread. A final assault was planned, risky and dangerous, but necessary to end the nightmare. The humans and Zynerans prepared for a battle that would decide the fate of their world and the entire galaxy. The story of their struggle became a powerful testament to courage, unity, and the belief that even in the shadow of destruction, hope could shine brighter than any weapon of war. With the enemy's fortress finally pinpointed deep within a war-ravaged star system, the alliance of humans, Zynerans, and their newfound allies prepared for the most crucial battle of their lives, knowing that failure would mean doom not only for Zynara, but for the entire galaxy. The humans, led by Commander Elias Shaw, coordinated with alien fleets, forming a united front against the shadowy coalition that had unleashed the plague and sought to spread chaos across countless worlds, while Dr. Kara Jensen and her team worked tirelessly to develop treatments to protect the frontline fighters from infection. For the enemy's weaponized disease was still a deadly threat even amidst the fight. As the combined forces moved toward the fortress, tensions ran high. Old grudges simmered beneath the surface, and whispers of mistrust threatened to fracture the fragile unity. But the looming danger forced everyone to set aside their fears and doubts. When the battle began, it erupted with overwhelming fury. Starships clashed in deadly dogfights above the planet's scarred surface, while ground forces fought fierce, brutal skirmishes through labyrinthine tunnels and ruined cities, each side pushing their limits to gain control. The humans proved their strength not only in combat, but in leadership, rallying the diverse coalition with courage and tactical skill, inspiring allies who had once doubted their intentions to fight with renewed determination. Amid the chaos, the hidden enemy unleashed traps and bioweapons designed to break the Alliance's spirit, but the combined forces stood firm, their shared hope fueling every act of bravery. Sacrifices were made, heroes rose, and moments of despair turned to unexpected triumphs as the invaders' defenses began to crumble. Finally, in a desperate final push, the coalition breached the fortress's core, dismantling the labs where the plague had been engineered and cutting off the source of the deadly disease. As the dust settled and silence fell over the battlefield, the survivors realized they had not only saved Zinara, but had forged a new beginning for the galaxy, a beginning built on trust, courage, and the unbreakable bond formed when many races stood united against darkness. Though scars remained and dangers still lurked beyond the stars, the story of this battle echoed through the cosmos, a powerful reminder that even in the face of overwhelming fear, hope, and unity could change the course of history. With the fortress destroyed and the plague's source eliminated, the galaxy began to breathe a cautious sigh of relief. But the work was far from over. The humans and Zenarans, now trusted partners, led efforts to heal the wounded worlds and rebuild the shattered lives left in the plague's wake, sharing their knowledge and technology freely to ensure no species would face such a threat alone. Again, while leaders across star systems gathered to form new alliances based on the lessons learned from this crisis, alliances built on respect, trust, and the recognition that unity was the only true defense against the darkness lurking in the vastness of space. Humans, once strangers and subjects of suspicion, became beacons of hope and examples of courage and compassion, their willingness to answer a desperate call inspiring many to look beyond old fears and prejudices, understanding that strength lay in standing together. Celebrations were held across planets and stations, but beneath the joy, a quiet determination settled. The galaxy knew it must remain vigilant, for enemies would always seek to exploit fear and division. Yet now, there was proof that even in the bleakest moments, cooperation could light the way forward. As Zynaran children played in restored fields, and humans shared stories with alien friends beneath unfamiliar stars, a new era dawned, one where the bonds forged in battle would shape the future of exploration, peace, and shared destiny. The memory of those who sacrificed everything became a sacred legacy, reminding all that when the galaxy cried out for help, only the humans answered, not for glory or gain, but because they believed in something greater. That life, in all its forms, deserved a chance to thrive together.